So, I completely understand that by the time this video goes up on YouTube, there may as well have been another Uri Slafkovsky point, what have you. This game is gonna start later in the morning, and I say later in the morning because I'm technically recording this video early in the AM, but Sweden-Slovakia. We'll see whether or not Uri is able to get yet another point. But this video, despite the fact that it is technically coming out after Sweden-Slovakia, I wanted to dive into some of the positive Canadiens news that revolves around some of the other young guys in the system. Names that are not at the Olympic Games, and names that realistically we're not going to see these guys at the Olympics anytime soon. Let's talk about prospects in the University of Michigan organization as well as in Salavat Yuleyev Ufa, because when it comes to Alexander Zharovsky and Michael Hage, these two guys have been putting on a show over the past few days, and what better time to go out there and talk about them right as Canadiens fans get excited for Slafkovsky and the other Canadiens at the Olympics. So, Michael Hage, playing for the Michigan Wolverines, is all the way up there at 40 points in 29 games played. That's significant because, just yesterday, against Gavin McKenna and the Penn State University Nittany Lions, Michael Hage ended up getting himself 3 assists in a 4-4 tie. Now, it's funny, it says 4-4 tie here on Elite Prospects. Actually, he got the shootout winner in the end game of the hockey contest. Hage comes in, goes to the backhand, and then quickly goes back over to the forehand. Oh, what a beautiful, nasty move. Look at how close he is to the goaltender as he is on the backhand before whipping it back over. Forehand size. And Michael Hage ends up winning the game for the Wolverines. I'm not sure why it says tie here on Elite Prospects. Maybe they process these kinds of things a little bit differently on the database of the website. But either way, Michael Hage was able to go out there with yet another multi-point game. 40 points in 29 games for Hage. What a beauty he is. He'll be such a good Hab. The kid is going to be unreal. Keep killing it, Hage. We will be patient. But I really like what I see. Let's go out there and read some of the other comments over here. Is that not the World Juniors move that he did twice in a row? Yeah, pretty much, eh? Selling that backhand deke hard, making the goalie fall on his behind as the puck hits the twine. Funny part is, Hage and his overall production now, 40 points in 29 games is awesome for a guy that is 19 turning 20 years old. This means that his season is technically his U20 year. If we head over to the NCAA and we take a look at goal scorers, point producers in that age range, we can see that Michael Hage is the 3rd overall name in the nation. Speaking of which, look at Ethan Wittenbach. Oh my gosh, the guy has 47 points in 30 games played? That's absolutely ridiculous. I had no idea that he was doing that well in the NCAA this year. But if we take a look at some of the past, let's just say 10 years or so of NCAA play from guys in this particular age range, we will see that Michael Hage does have some pretty strong comparable names. Obviously, he is not near the top of this list because he has not played the entire season. But if we go over to points per game, we can see that Michael Hage is 18th overall in the past 11 or so seasons of NCAA play for U20 skaters and beyond. Hage is going out there and outproducing what Dylan Larkin did at 18, what Alex Newhook did at 19, and what Lane Hudson did at 19 as well. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, Lane Hudson's a D-man. It's a totally different conversation. And yeah, that's absolutely the case here too. Actually, let's limit this to just forwards, and then it's a little bit easier to talk about it there. So if we take a look at Michael Hage and his point production, comparing it to some of the other guys in the NCAA at the same age, He's right behind names like Matt Boldy at the same age, Rutger McGroarty at the same age too. And then Alex Newhook is the comparable over there. I think Newhook is a pretty reasonably good Hab, so anybody projecting to be in the similar point production territory as him, it's not that bad in my opinion. And then you have some other guys that I think are very good, like Ryan Leonard, for example. Same age as Michael Hage, but Ryan Leonard was scoring at a lower rate last season. There are some other notable names here. Matty Beniers, 19 years old. Technically, Michael Hage is doing better than him. Same with Kent Johnson. Same with, what's another notable name over here? Brock Besser, his 19-year-old year wasn't all too great. So, long story short, there's a really good statistical profile here for Michael Hage, a guy taken at the end of the first round, and a guy that I think Canadiens fans are not necessarily losing interest in the short term, but he's not the main focus right now. Everybody's got their eyes on the Olympics, which is totally fine. Speaking about the Olympics, let's talk about a guy who plays for a team that may or may not be included in the Olympics in the coming years. Alexander Zharovsky for Salavat Yuleev Ufa. He's gone out there and scored his 37th point in the KHL this season. It came in the game yesterday, as Zharovsky, with his one assist, ended up breaking the KHL's U19 points record. He also just missed scoring a highlight reel goal, and there are a bunch of other highlights that are listed out here by Amsroll on the Reddit. But with Zharovsky's 37th point of the year, it puts him on pace for 48 points in 59 games this season. If you head over to the KHL's all-time history and you look at U19 players, Alexander Zharovsky has just defeated Eli Tolvanen for number 1 in the KHL's history books. 37 points is the record here for any KHL athlete under the age of 19. If you take a look at points per game, I mean, Zharovsky is still number 1 if you exclude these guys who have only gotten 1 game played at 18 years old. So, right away, I think Zharovsky is showing off that the point production element of his game definitely is good enough. He is outscoring guys like Kirill Kaprizov, Vladimir Tarasenko, Pavel Buchnevich, Artemi Panarin, Matvei Mishkov even. I mean, there are so many guys here that Alexander Zharovsky is outscoring. He's literally the top scoring 18-year-old in KHL history. That's pretty strong, I would say. Now, heading into the next few years, this is where things are going to get a little bit interesting, because technically, in all these European leagues, a quote-unquote junior player is a player who is under 20. And the KHL's junior rookie points record was set by Ivan Demidov last year at age 19. Alexander Zharovsky, if he were to try and beat Demidov's record this season, he would just need 13 more points. And considering the fact that he is on pace for 48 points on the year, he is on pace for just 11 more points on the year. He's actually on pace to roughly overtaking the previous champ in Kirill Kaprizov. That, of course, is not going to necessarily imply that Zharovsky is better than Kaprizov. I think there are a number of elements of Zharovsky's game that need to be worked out on before he becomes an NHL producer or an NHL superstar like some of these top guys are or could be. But it just goes to show the level of production that Zharovsky is putting himself in. It's elite. Absolutely elite. This is a guy taken in the second round. Montreal reportedly had him in the first round. Now we are starting to see why. He has gone out there with a totally amazing resume, and I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Alexander Zharovsky? How do you feel about Michael Hage? These guys are tearing it up. They're doing some pretty good work. Hage with the 3 points yesterday, Zharovsky with the 1 point and the record. Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.